So in a surprise move a few days ago, Respawn Entertainment and Electronic Arts released Apex Legends. It's a free-to-play battle royale game set in the Titanfall universe. Is it any good? Or should you just flat out ignore it? Well, let's dive into this and I'll give you my thoughts on the whole matter. Hello everyone, and what's going on? This is your favorite internet voice, Invader, and I'm back bringing you another video. Thanks for checking this out, as it's always a privilege having you here watching my content. So, it's amazing what happens with sudden surprises. When you think a studio is working on a successor, when they're actually working on a separate standalone title that's more of a spin-off to the Titanfall universe. I'll admit, I was a bit surprised by this announcement. I, like everyone else, thought the next iteration in the series would be a proper Titanfall 3, but hey, here we are now. In Apex Legends, the matches are filled with up to 60 people, with the battle being fought across a massive map called King's Canyon. There are no Titans in this game. Instead, the game focuses on a small selection of 9 characters, each focusing on a specific player class. You get to choose from your typical soldier, to medics, snipers, a stealth-focused character, and so on. Honestly, pretty far for the course for these types of style of games. Now, I've played a few matches of Apex, and it's definitely competent. The shooting feels great. And one thing that I was really surprised with was actually the source engine. And while I don't mind it, I always found it to be one of the more lacking engines in the game industry. But with that being said, I'm impressed with the visuals of the game. The colors really do pop out a lot better than they used to, and the frame rate is buttery smooth. No syncing issues, and the matches seem to load quite fast. Also, I've enjoyed a lot of the newer weapons. The gunplay in Titanfall has always been tight, and it certainly continues on with that tradition in this game. Now, honestly, free-to-play Battle Royale is a smart move in a lot of ways. It'll take audiences from PUBG, Black Ops 4, and Overwatch, though I doubt it'll affect games like Fortnite, for example. Seems like a different audience entirely there. But I can see what EA is doing here, and it's very strategic in nature, especially when you look at the microtransactions tied into this game. And while the game is free, and I don't think that they're the most predatory example in the industry, I'm always wary when it comes to them, and the prices could always be a bit lower in some bundles or crates, but we'll see how the audience responds to this in the next few weeks. Again, you can tell this game borrows heavily from others in the genre, especially in the case of Black Ops 4, with recognizable individual maps placed inside this massive play space. Right off the bat, I instantly recognize classic Titanfall maps, such as Proving Grounds, Airbase, and Boneyard, just to name a few. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand that these games imitate each other in certain aspects. I just prefer it when games and franchises go forward with doing their own thing. Now, I'll admit right off the bat that Battle Royale modes or games aren't really my cup of tea. I've just never really cared for that type of game mode. However, hey, if you like it, then by all means, enjoy it. I know there's a large fan base out there for those kinds of games, so I would never discourage you from playing them. They just don't capture my attention as others do, and that's fair. My issue is that it doesn't feel like the Titanfall universe. I do understand quite well that it's not the same game in name, but it still follows the same universe, so I can't help but expect having a lumbering metal companion by me. It's a shame that you can't create your own character, as you're just stuck with these hero-based characters, and I'll be honest, I don't really care for the Legends. To me, they don't really have a lot of charm or personality to them. Another issue I had is that the map feels, well, kind of empty. In a Titanfall game, I'm used to having all kinds of action going on around me, grunts running around, specters advancing, and so forth. And now you're just slowly advancing across areas of the map, camping out little shacks. It just seems like a stark contrast to what I loved about the gameplay in Titanfall. I do find it interesting that they would launch this game so close to Anthem's release date. With another 2 weeks until that, one may steal another's thunder. Granted, they are different types of games entirely, but it's funny how Apex's online connection runs so much smoother than Anthem's. Maybe BioWare could pick up a trick or two from Respawn's team. Also, looking into the near future, Battlefield 5's Firestorm mode will be launching sometime in the spring, and is a battle royale multiplayer mode. I can't help but think that that mode will get pushed back a bit more to accommodate for Apex Legends' initial popularity. It would make a lot of sense to space these out, so that one doesn't suffer. As of right now, there's been about 2.5 million downloads across Xbox, PlayStation, and PC platforms. So as of right now, it's performing quite well and has attracted one heck of a player base. We'll see after a few weeks how many choose to stick around, but for now, it's looking pretty good. Now, is it possible that Titanfall 3 will be in development at some point? Well, possibly. Respawn currently have their hands full with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It's due out later this year, and now they're making seasonal content for Apex Legends. So if they do, it's gonna be at least a few years off. In a lot of ways, I hope that Apex Legends is successful, because I do really want to see a Titanfall 3 in the near future. Respawn head Vince Appella also tweeted a hint of more premium Titanfall content in the works. Now, what does that mean? Well, that's difficult to say, since we already know that Apex Legends is going to be supported going on to the near future with seasonal content. I would like to think that it's something like an add-on for Titanfall 2, maybe a small campaign for Apex being introduced, or maybe even a spin-off of the Titanfall brand into different media, like, for example, a Titanfall cartoon series. But you never know, it's kind of vague, but it's interesting that they say premium content. Overall, I do enjoy what I've been playing of Apex Legends, and I'll continue to try it out. But personally, I don't know how long it'll hold my attention. While I know it's a standalone product in the Titanfall universe, I can't help but compare it back to Titanfall itself, missing gameplay elements like double jumps, grunts, specters, certain character customizations, and most certainly the Titans themselves, as these things just represent a lot of what encompasses the franchise to me, as someone who enjoys the Titanfall franchise and has supported it from the very beginning. This game just makes me yearn for a traditional Titanfall 3 even more. However, I'll give Apex Legends a try and see where the future seasons take this game. And I'll admit, I'm very skeptical now more than ever with EA being involved with the franchise after their purchase of Respawn. The past few years, their games have been plagued by microtransactions, social justice, lack of content, and sleazy business tactics, so I'm definitely keeping an eye on how they handle things. There's already been talk of a culture change within the Respawn studio, so that gets me worried of how things are going to proceed. Also, looking at EA's financial situation and recent stock tumble, things aren't exactly looking good for them. Maybe Apex Legends will be a silver lining for the time being? Who knows, we'll see on that. I just hope that this is handled well, but judging from recent gaffes, I have a reason to feel at least a bit skeptical. So what do you guys think of this? Have you been playing Apex Legends? Are you enjoying it? Or do you feel Respawn should go back to making a more traditional Titanfall game? Please let me know in the comments down below and let me know how you feel. As always, thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you happen to enjoy this video, then hit that like button and share this out. Also, don't forget to subscribe for future channel content. As well, YouTube has a bit of a habit of being funny with notifications, so definitely remember to hit that bell to be notified of new content. With that said, Invader, out.